Okay, welcome to the live stream. We are about to get our semifinal matches underway. On the pair to the left, you have AJ Chapman bowling Chris Vi. Chris Vi was the top seed. He got to pick the pattern. Oh my.
Wow. It's a rough start. And for the women, we have Heather Panatzer versus Jordan Richard.
I'm Chris Barnes. I'm here with Andrew Kane, our esteemed former president.
It's good to be here.
Both players with the picked the Stockholm pattern, the 34-foot, the shortest pattern that we've bowled on this week.
Both Jordan and Heather out of the gate with a strike each.
And we were noticing on that, on the women's pair, that left lane seemed to be the tricky lane.
Yeah. Didn't look very comfortable towards the end of practice. We'll see how it plays out as the match goes on. There's Chris Vi with his first shot.
I suppose if my rev rate was 550, I would choose a pattern I could throw urethane and never go, you know. Don't have to worry about my ball going sideways as much.
Let's see what Jordan sees on this left lane here. Yeah. Looks like about more of the same what we saw in practice there. That might be prove to be the tricky lane in the match.
Seems like there's a little, almost like a wiggle spot around 32 to 34 feet there, and it just doesn't want to come off of it. If you haven't got your ball started before you get to that point, it seems to lose some traction. Light there, leaving just the 4-pin, maybe a little bit fortunate for that. We saw some washouts and some other things. The two lanes are not very close on that pair.
Chris starts off with a nice double, takes advantage of the unfortunate break by AJ in the first frame with the 7-9. See if he can get back in it here.
Andrew, you've bowled a couple of these. There's a lot of nerves going on right now by both sides, I think.
Yeah, no question about it. They want this title. It's quite an honor to have it, and as you know as well, it's something. AJ coming up light, gets the breakout. It's a 7 only.
So one thing with as much ball speed as they have, when they miss in like that, it actually doesn't make the corner very well. A really good shot by Heather, starting off the double. And based on her last 3 shots, I'm not sure I thought she'd come out flush. It was, she was scrambling a little bit at the last few balls. Kind of the worst feeling going into a TV show type situation is have your last couple shots go a different direction. But her very last one was flush, and then first 2 out of the gates flush.
Right. You know, and with all that, like you said, about all the nerves that are going through their mind, you know, through their body and what they're thinking right now, you know, sometimes getting out of the gate with an early double or an early triple is what you need to get a jump start in the match and start to get comfortable.
That hit the spot.
Yeah, there's that dip again. Looks like Heather's the only one that's chosen reactive out of the 4 competitors.
Well, typically on these shorter patterns, the sooner you can get your break point, closer you can get it to you, the easier it is to blend out the lane. And playing an extreme outside angle, you don't need more entry angle, which is what the reactives create for you.
AJ with a strike. Back in the match.
They may already be getting some carry down too. There's obviously very high rev rates on both sides. Good cover there. Heather with an 8-pin lead through 2.5 frames. Chris Vi right now up 20 with a chance to go up 30, potentially 31. pretty good news there. The first one was about 5-6, and that one was like, that was right around 2-3 maybe, and didn't threaten to go high.
Yeah, I think I got a chance to bowl with Chris yesterday, crossed with him on this pattern, and I certainly can understand why he picked it for this first match.
I think it was a smart choice actually by all the players in general. This was the highest scoring pattern. There's not a lot of tricks. You know what you're going to do, and I think to take the guesswork out of play in a situation we're already going to be a little anxious that's a smart play. Jordan with a 10 pin there, pretty good shot. She's now down 9 pins. Both players on spares through 3 frames. And that's why you use urethane.
He sure didn't like that one, but the result was fantastic, wasn't it?
No, the urethane is so slow response there. You miss in a little bit, and it actually gets you some hold where a reactive ball high might have been the best possible scenario. Hit that spot again, and she's not so lucky. Her ball tried a little too hard, leaving the 210. They're in a tricky spot now.
Looks like both competitors, if they continue to struggle with that lane, Heather might have a little bit of an advantage being able to finish on that right lane.
Yeah.
AJ with a double. Still trails Chris by 31.
Nice spare, great shot. Both Heather and Jordan have earned spots on the junior team. Correct?
That's correct.
Chance for AJ to take some momentum back there. That was a huge shot. If he misses there, it's, he's really behind the 8 ball. Opportunity to cut into that lead, knock it down to 21. Nice adjustment there.
Great shot.
Heather on what we think is the easier of the 2 lanes. That was a really good shot there.
Excellent. I think we're definitely confirming
Yeah.
62 is the better lane on that pair. Let's see if she can make the adjustment on 61. Keep it in play and get a little bit of a lead here.
Last year at the Orleans, I think the TV pair was over one of the pizza ovens. This time it might be over Ping Pang Pong restaurant.
It's
I don't
possible.
know. Yeah. It's completely fictitious. I have no idea.
Actually, I think you're right.
Got to cross next to him every day. I had a little envy. He throws it awfully good with a minimum amount of motion. There.
Oh, that's
Able to capitalize.
that was a big double right there.
That is big. That puts the lead up to 21 now. Chris Vai's lead up to 31 again. The men's side both on strikes, heading into the 6th frame. Jordan Richard on a spare, 57 in the 3rd, just made the 210 in the 4th. Strike here will give her 77 in the 4th. And the front 6 now. Oh, great shot there.
Jordan wasting no time getting up on that right lane. If she had any nerves, I think after converting that 210, they appear to be gone. I think we might see a little bit of a match now over here on the women's side. See what Jordan does on this tricky lane 61.
Getting behind early tends to settle some of those nerves.
It sure does.
Doesn't make you feel very good, but the nerves are gone. Uh-oh. Oh. Made an adjustment there on both lanes. He's got it back a couple of light shots. Mixer strikes. We have a little bit of an odd angle over here. I thought that might not make it there, but it didn't have any trouble at all.
Oh boy.
There's the adjustment of trying to keep it away from that spot on the gutter, and that's when the short pattern gets tricky, is when the gutter doesn't hook enough. Now you have to play where there's not really very much hold. 34-foot pattern. Not only is it not very long, but it's very flat in the middle of the lane. So once your ball gets in around 7-8, there's not much hold. It's basically a U.S. Open pattern between at 10 to 10. So
yeah, that's the trick. Jordan makes her spare. We see quite a few strikes in these matches, but certainly not to be underestimated all week was the importance of spare shooting out here, because I don't know about you, I saw, I missed a couple myself, but saw quite a few people missing spares, and I think the advantage of knowing that there were 30 games and 5 different patterns, it was very important to keep that in perspective.
Well, I think it's a great point. It's not only the good shot there by Heather. It's not only making marks, but the psychological effect of the 9 splits. You miss those ones when they stand by yourself. You know you've given up something. It actually feels worse than a split, or a normal open. Oh.
Chris breaking up the 7-10. He left 3 of those in 13 frames yesterday when we bowled together.
I wouldn't want to bowl with you very much more.
I had my 2 lowest days when I bowled with him, so I think might have been mutual.
Heather now up 31, a chance to go up 41.
Oh, what a great shot that was.
All of a sudden, she's making that lane not look very hard anymore.
No. She's smiling. She knows how good that shot was.
Yeah. Yeah, throughout the week, it's one of the things that always impresses me is not only how young the field is, but how talented the field is. And I've been here for a while and seeing some of these guys when they were 15, 16, 17, and now they're kind of all grown up.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's not really a field full of potential anymore. It's a field full of guys who they're going to be in the top 15. Are they going to make the right decisions to whether first, second, and third, or are they going to be,
there's no question about it,
10th, 11th? But they're going to be there. Their floors are much higher, and the ceilings are just, they're out of the building. 2-pin for Jordan really puts her in a bad spot. Chris Vi comes right back. He has a 20-pin lead right now. AJ Johnson has a chance to cut it to 10. If AJ strikes out, he'll shoot 269. If Chris Vi strikes out, he will shoot 279. Through 7.5 frames, AJ Chapman up in the 8th frame. Jordan must strike here. And that lane is her undoing. I think it's caused a couple of shots on the other lane too.
She continues to fight that, and yeah, I think that we saw that on lane 62. It looked like she was just a little bit quick on 62. Great shot by AJ to stay in the match.
But it's the second year in a row he's come here and just bowled great from start to finish.
Spare by Jordan there. Heather still with a commanding lead. Jordan would certainly need a little bit of help to have a chance at all to get back in this match. Heather continues to make great shots.
Yeah, Heather still has a possible 279 going on that pair. Max score for Jordan Richard is now 214. Oh. It's a long way for a urethane ball to make it back up the hill. Wow. On a 240 pace now, she virtually just needs good count on the next couple of frames to close that match out and fortunately end Jordan Richards' fantastic week. A lot accomplished already. After the stepladder, they will be announcing all of their respective teams, the men's, the women's, the junior teams on each side, and the youth teams on each side.
And as you mentioned earlier, the women that are in the stepladder finals have already qualified for the junior team, but the winner of this stepladder will have the opportunity to represent the women on the adult team for 2016. All three of the men having qualified for the adult team. We have Chris Vi getting up in the 10th frame, has an opportunity to close out AJ Chapman.
Up 10, he needs the first 2 strikes to shut him out. And 1.
And 1. I felt that back here, Chris.
I can't tell you how many times that my ball did that same thing. Actually, I can. Never. Wow. Well, he needed a strike there. He still needs this one. Anything less will give AJ Chapman an opportunity to step up in the 10th frame. Heather did go 9 miss. I don't mean to ignore the women's match. She has 215 already. The max score for Jordan Richard is 214. Shot of the match right now, Chris Vi. Boy, hard to throw it much better than that. I got a chance to throw it to bowl a lot this week, and occasionally gets a little quick early. Gets a little close to the foul line and will miss it a little at the bottom. He had great tempo, and with everything on the line there, that was one of his best shots of the week in the clutch.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
He keeps doing that. Now they will switch patterns. Cameron Doyle was the leader, and they've chosen a different pattern, but I think they're both going to still throw urethane on that pattern as well.
Cameron was practicing with urethane down there.
I know Cameron is. I'm not sure if Chris, he can throw it so hard. I'm not sure if he will or not, but
Jordan with the double.
And that got back to that spot again. Wow. This is really unfortunate for AJ because had he left the 7 or the 9 in the first frame,
still have an opportunity here.
Yeah, he would be here to tie if he got all 3 in the 10th. And he misses there, but it's just such a different shot. It's not, you're beat already. It's even though you're still trying, your whole intensity
changes.
level and the adrenaline level changes dramatically once you're out of the match. And I don't know if that first one should have struck, but it certainly shouldn't have been a split. And 9 spare to start the match would have been made this much different all the way through.
Well, and it's just so hard to tell. He did the right thing, made sure he got the pin, almost made the split in the first frame, but certainly can't look back on a match like that and feel like you made any mistakes.
Yeah, there's matches you win, there's matches you lose, and there's matches you get beat.
I think this is one of those.
Yeah, you shoot 240, 5260 in a match like that.
And the same outcome over here for Heather and Jordan. Jordan bowled she bowled a good game, 199. I think she bowled a better game than that. She struggled a little bit more on lane 61, where Heather was able to get it figured out, string a few strikes together, and lock up the match. But certainly a great match by all 4 competitors.
I normally keep a lot of lane play adjustments on all these pairs, which I have, but but when I hit these pairs, it was always at the end of the blocks. So we were never really playing that far out down here on these pairs.
Chris Vi moves on to the title match against Cameron Doyle, beating AJ Chapman with a score of 279 to 246, and Heather Panatzer beating Jordan Richard 235 to 199. Move on to face Stephanie Schwartz.
Our tournament director Damon Sirocco will now be doing some announcements.
Hey, bowling fans, some exciting matches there. How about a round of applause for all of our competitors? Huh? Great bowling there. On the men's side, Heather Panatzer defeats Jordan Richard 235 to 199. Heather will advance to our championship match. Congratulations, Heather. Great bowling. And down on the men's side, Chris Vi defeated AJ Chapman 279 to 246. Great bowling, Chris. Congratulations. Chris will step to the side. We will have ladies go first in our championship match. It'll be on lanes 50. closer, about 20 more seconds to go. We'll hold it up on practice, and then we'll begin. Stephanie Schwartz, as the #1 seed for the U.S. Amateur Championship, has chosen the Stockholm pattern. And she'll start on the left lane as well. All right, bowling fans, I think we're ready to go here. We'll get the scoring arrows up. How about a round of applause? Send these ladies off with a great round of applause. Let's go to the winner. U.S. Amateur Champion Slalom Seniors, the winner, Stephanie. Good luck, Heather.
Welcome back. Apologize for the delay. We're just getting started in our women's final match for the National Amateur Championship. Stephanie Schwartz, who is the leader, also picked the Stockholm pattern, the 34-foot pattern. She will be going up against Heather Pananser. I'm Chris Barnes. I'm here with former president and former National Amateur Champion, Andrew Kane. Not quite of the free world, but in the free bowling world. We just watched Heather in the semifinal match. Bowled a big game. 246, I believe.
235.
Oh, 235.
Defeating Jordan Richard 199.
Had a difficult lane there, but she had a little bit of a rough practice session here. This lane also not quite as easy. Just see, talked to her earlier. Both players using reactive balls on this short pattern. Heather going with something a little bit smoother, a little cleaner. Stephanie overshelling a little bit more, what traditionally is done now on these short patterns. And by overshelling, I mean using a lot of surface, getting the ball to pick up early and smoothing it out to where it evens out the wet dry, both left to right and front to back. A lot on the line in this match.
Certainly the title of U.S. Amateur Champion, something on the minds of both of these ladies right now.
Along with an automatic berth onto the adult team. Said earlier, both players have qualified for the junior team already, being under 21.
Heather with a little bit of trouble on the left lane. It's a 2-4, 8-10.
The danger about getting your break point past the end of the pattern, past that 34-foot mark, is that you are subject to some carry down and some of the wiggle that can happen down lane, and that doesn't make it all the way back up the headband. The 2-4, 8-10, difficult spare, obviously. About a 1 in 50 make for the count, and that didn't get over there either. Obviously not quite lined up on that lane. Giving Stephanie a 16-pin lead and opportunity to go up by 26.
Stephanie wasting no time getting up there to take this second shot. Capitalizing the momentum. Great shot there.
Well, and that's what great players do. They take advantage of those opportunities and are able to capitalize. Both players product of NCAA schools in Texas.
Heather bowling collegiately for Sam Houston State. Stephanie for Stephen F. Austin.
Starting out with the early three-bagger, Stephanie was the leader on this Stockholm pattern on day 4. And I guess a pretty good reason why she chose it.
I think through 3 frames we certainly see why, and we probably would agree with her choice.
Yeah. Looks like we have a ball change now.
Risk
Heather
reward.
switching out an it, thumb. So
It's risk reward at this point. You know, we're down to the last game of the tournament, the title match. Both ladies worked very hard to get here, and this is where you put it all on the line.
oh, well, I think that's a great point, Andrew. In a normal situation, you might take something that's a little less risky. You might give it a few more frames. But in a one-game situation, you're down 36. Your opponent has gone high flush all 3 shots. You're forced into doing some things that sooner and maybe a little more risky than you prefer. But I think entirely agree with it with the choice.
Oh, absolutely. I think at this point, you know, Stephanie obviously, you know, she was the leader on this pattern. She's obviously comfortable right now. She's pumped up, and the only opportunity Heather has is to make a change and hopefully string a couple strikes together.
Well, and she did. Either particularly conventional, and this is going to be the tricky part, because she went to a shinier ball, which you think, well, that goes longer. But because we have 26 feet of back end here, that shinier ball saves all the energy up through the front half of the lane, and when it sees that friction in the back, hooks even more down lane. As opposed to Stephanie's ball, which looks like it has about 500 grit on it, which is similar to what I used on the spinner too, and gets started much sooner, bleeds out a lot of the energy, so when it hits the back end, it's very smooth and very controllable, and allows her to control the best part of the pocket so far.
Right, and as you mentioned earlier, you know, using the shinier ball, Stephanie's obviously throwing it quite hard right now, and Heather is to apply the same amount of speed. It's possible if she throws it a little bit too far down the lane, gets it to the break point, and there's some carry down, she could run into trouble the other way. Stephanie leaving the 2-8, a little bit light, still in great shape.
34 pin lead here through 4.5 frames. She makes the spare. Heather still with a couple of big moves after the nosedive. That's probably a 3.5, 4-board move with your feet, or a speed change or hand position change. And the flush Brooklyn shot, which is only about a 5-board move for me. So she's got some pretty big moves. She's going to move her eyes probably at least half the amount she moves her feet there. And then she's got to hope that it picks up as much when she hits that same break point, another 4 feet further down the lane.
And being left-handed, I'll just take your word for that.
She did move deeper in the lane, but did not get it quite far enough right. Hit some of that flatter part of the pattern in the middle and did not get any hold there, and now pays the price with the 4-6-10. It's probably the biggest difference between right and left-handers is how the adjustments are. Is right-handers generally move left to right, and left-handers, and because of the way patterns are built, there's not necessarily more hold as you move in. You end up making more adjustments with your break point front to back.
Right, and a lot of surface changes. I mean, what happened a lot this week, you know, on the left side, I found a lot of my moves to be left, where the right-handers would chase it left. I chased it left, tried to stay on top of it, get the ball in front of me a little bit more, particularly because couldn't get it through the front part of the lane after about 4 games on some of these patterns.
Pretty big move there, that.
That's the exact opposite result of what happens when you can go to that shiny ball and get the speed up a little bit, try to firm it up, and
And also, it's just experience. When we first bowled on these shorter type patterns on tour, the first time I ever did, we all did the same thing. We went to shinier balls, we went to balls that went longer to try and get to go straighter, and it didn't make them any easier. It actually made the lanes harder.
It was very instinctive based on the environment we were used to. The short patterns were tricky, and it just it didn't surprise me given the level of talent in both the ladies and the men, how many of them tried and threw urethane in the practice sessions and throughout the qualifying round. They know what to do. They know how to attack these patterns now.
Well, Stephanie in great shape now through 6 frames, 128 in the 5th. A possible 278 score. The max score for Heather Panetzer is 207. Great ball reaction, great rhythm. And a 61 pin lead will give you a little freer arm swing. Stephanie, a former member of Junior Team USA, will be rejoining that team again next year. And is very quickly approaching her first appearance on the adult national team.
Stephanie with 148 in the 6th and a spare. Just 3 more frames to make that a reality. Heather up on the right lane.
There's no choice now but to strike out and hope for a considerable amount of help. Oh.
Boy, that was a great move and a great shot.
Yeah, given the really the lack of room, you know, how good an execution she has to make to hit the pocket there. That is not a very good break. It's still another sign, though, that the ball is getting too far down the lane and coming in too sharp, a little behind the head pin. And there are some times when it rains, it starts to pour.
Yeah, Heather with the fortunate double off of the ball change and then trying to make the correction in the 5th and 6th frame. Obviously didn't pay off, and now just probably a little bit of frustration setting in, but you know, she'll certainly be back. She's
a very talented player. Again, a collegiate player with that's played for the national title and
2014 NCAA title.
And while this one may stick with her for a little while, in the end, this has been a great week. She's played fantastic. She's bowled for the title of the National Amateur Championship, and quite possibly could be selected for the adult team as well as making the junior team. It's a lot of successes this week.
Yeah, that's just another part of the experience of bowling in a lot of these events, and just time, and you know, you start to realize these successes add up. You know, what doesn't feel like a victory in the moment,
yeah,
you know, the next day certainly is.
Well, fantastic shot there, and that wraps up the National Amateur Championship for Stephanie Schwartz. And this is great practice. These girls are both very, very talented players. They will probably sooner than later be PWBA members, and
certainly hope so.
And have their chances to bowl on another step ladder for a little bit more money next time. It's great to see the women's tour back after the inaugural season, coming back with more stops and tremendous support. They were sold out for every event last year, and it's nice to see a venue for the massive talent that we see out here during this week. to make the national team, and now they have a chance to go out and make it a career after college. And
yeah, it really is incredible to see, as you mentioned before, the floor of the athletes out here today, especially the women with the collegiate programs, the NCAA programs. It's just amazing how good they are and how many. There's just a groundswell of this talent that hopefully makes it to the PWBA in the coming years.
Well, not to worry. She's already run over Tom Doherty's number. And but yeah, at some point here, you're trying to just finish out. It'd be nice to leave something close together. And really.
You know, the best part though, she's got a smile on her face. She knows.
Well, I've often smiled like that after a few opens too. Well, maybe not. Again, a great. It's really. I thought the last pair was going to be tougher, and she made it look so easy. And now.
Don't worry, Heather. It's almost finished.
I kind of felt though, if it's going to be that way, just get them all the way at once. I feel like everything evens out, so just get it all the way in this loss, and the next 2, 3, 4 times it goes, everything is going to go our way. But.
And it does. What a great round of applause for Heather. She's had a fantastic week.
So rounding out the match here, she's finished here, and get out of the way and let Stephanie finish up her victory lap. As we roll up this 10th frame here, the men's championship will be coming on in just a few moments. So once this match ends, it'll be about 5 minutes of practice, and then they will get started. Stephanie Schwartz using a menace as, well, she's dominated this final and validated her top seed that she earned already with a win here in the National Amateur title.
Yeah, she came out swinging in this match. There's no question about it. Took advantage of a couple unfortunate breaks early on from Heather and just did not look back.
Boy, and she's just, well, she struck every shot here on the right lane too, and so each time she was able to put something within the left lane, it turned into a 3-bagger. That's this is one of the most fun shots in bowling right now.
This is the exclamation point on your week right here.
Very cool week. A berth on the national team, junior Team USA as well, a national amateur title. Stephanie Schwartz.
Congratulations to Stephanie. 2016 U.S. Amateur Champion, and she has earned a spot on Team USA for 2016. Congratulations, Stephanie. Another round of applause for Heather Penninger. Had a great round this week. Congratulations.
Very cool moment.
All right, one down, one more to go. The men's final will happen momentarily. As soon as we get both competitors
We will step back in just a few moments here.
We'll have 5 minutes
We switch our cameras over to the men's practice, or men's final pair, and we'll be back within 5 minutes.
Okay, bowling fans, this is it. Cameron Doyle, tournament leader. He's elected to go first. He'll be up on the left lane. He's also selected the pattern. The pattern choice today for Cameron, Melbourne. Awesome. All right, scoring arrows are up. Bowling fans, this is it. The winner of this match will be crowned 2016 U.S. Amateur Champion. How about a loud, great round of applause?
All right, welcome back. We're here with the men's championship for the 2016 National Amateur title. Cameron Doyle is the leader. He finished second overall. The high non-pro, which was Marshall Kent, was the high pro and led the tournament. He's picked the 37-foot Melbourne pattern. This is the first pattern we bowled on this week.
With Cameron, I think he finished second on this pattern. Certainly something to his liking.
And that was left to target. Not what he was looking to do there. Firm and left and little thumb down. That's an adrenaline shot. In another 100 shows or so, he'll still throw it, but he'll know it. He'll know it.
Well, with urethane, sometimes that's exactly what we talked about in the first match. The result you see. Get it in a little bit, get a little fast.
Reactives can be more sensitive to axis rotations, and urethane, I think, is much more sensitive to speed variations. And second year in a row that Cameron has qualified second here at the National Amateur Championships. Been on a really great run. Not quite 18 yet, I don't believe, and has really become, you know, from a Team USA perspective, him and Marshall have won two, back-to-back years and are becoming the future of this the core of this team for the next decade. Wow. But as the higher seed, Cam did pick this pattern. He probably a very good reason. He shot 290 and 258 his first 2 games on this pattern to start off the tournament. Chris Vai, on the other hand, struggled a little bit more.
I believe he had 190, 199 out of the gate and followed it up with 250. So certainly a little bit of an advantage in Cameron's mind picking this pattern.
And now he picked the pattern before he knew who he was bowling, so it wasn't necessarily a defensive play. And I 100% behind making an offensive choice when you're picking a pattern versus a defensive play. With 548 for 2, I'm pretty sure no one had better.
I think I'd probably make that decision as well.
Yeah. Worth the risk. Now, I do think that Chris is using a little different strategy. Obviously, the one he used to start off on this pattern in day 1 wasn't ideal. So, whoa. Having crossed to him, that's probably, I think we all have a cross to bear. We have a mistake that we tend to make the majority of the time, and I believe that's his right there. When he gets quick early, he gets too close to the foul line, and there's no place to stretch out. And with two-handed, without a big place to push into, the ball rotates off his hand and into the lane quick, and he actually misses it a little bit. Now, by misses, I mean his rev rate only is 460 instead of 540, but nonetheless, many times it comes up wide, and his lines are so straight and he's so strong that it doesn't affect his ball speed any. But it will, he will get too far down the lane.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of the same. As you mentioned, you crossed with him this week. I bowled with him 2 days this week, and certainly can say that I saw a lot of that happen. It was incredible because he still managed to make some great shots in there. I think he's got enough experience now. I think he sees it, he knows it. We'll see how he rebounds. Cameron on the right lane working on a spare.
Much better shot. Right lane looks like it hooks a little bit more for him. Like we saw a lot this week. I had a lot of the right lanes that hooked more. Well, I don't think Chris does it a ton. I even on the tour level, when you're bowling really well, I think 8 out of 10 really good shots is about as much as anybody does. There's a perception that's perfect, and certainly the misses are better, the better you're playing, but 8 out of 10 is a pretty high level. So 1 or 2 is going to creep in there, but if you know what your mistake is and you can start to address that, then that 8 number starts moving up. And as strong as his ball is, both of these guys for that matter, when they hit the pocket, they don't miss very often.
That's kind of what been just a bit inside a target there too.
Exactly. I think kind of what we're talking about, where that's a miss, but that's a very close miss. It was probably within 1 of target at the arrows, a couple left down at the 35 foot mark, but changed the angle. It didn't roll through him. It was sent that 6 right over the top. We tend to think of that as a really bad break, but physics-wise, it's still a little bit light, even though it's really about a 1/4 of an inch at 60 feet. It's a tough one to adjust for.
Well, 1/4 of an inch at this level, though, make all the difference.
Well, after a couple of not great breaks for Chris here either, down 1 pin, chance to strike and have an opportunity to take the lead. And that he does with a strike in the 3rd through 3 frames. Cameron has 40 in the 2nd. Chris has 39. with that strike up in the third, he'll have an opportunity to take a 9-pin lead here in the fourth frame. Sure, I can tell what ball he's throwing exactly. Challenge anyone to throw it that hard without getting the ball behind their hip. It's
I don't think I saw the pins leave the deck on that one.
He does a great job, and it's one of the skills that a lot of the two-handers have, the ability to manipulate axis rotations, and Chris can really get it going end over end, which controls that back end motion and allows it to be much more controllable.
Yeah, I think we saw that with the strike he threw on the right lane.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
That one got there too early. Little makeup shot for the one in the left lane that didn't hook enough. Hard thing to do when the ball doesn't hook on one lane is to not try and make it do the same thing on the other lane. There he wasn't struggling on that one. 3-7-10. Difficult spare here. Put this one at about, for Cameron, maybe 5-1.
That's not what we wanted to see.
No. 64 now in the fourth.
You know, I think just a split like that, count-wise, you know, it was very fortunate that he broke the 6-pin up, but visually looking at the 3-7-10 as opposed to the 3-6-7-10.
Yeah, it doesn't make it look any easier, that's for sure. Down 25. He'd step right back up, regroup. This one here needs to be one of his best ones.
It was.
Lots of times a shot like that will stop you from being a little cautious or a little anxious and make you a little irritated. Just chases some of those nerves away. We've watched Pete Weber do it a lot of times. That's kind of his go-to move to chase away the anxiety, and it served him pretty well over the years, I'd say.
The best remedy is to get right back up and do it again.
Chance to go to 35. Nope. It's kind of the one right there. It didn't come off his hand quite the same. His rough rate's down a little bit. Got long. Not a bad lead though. The 2-8's fairly makeable. Generally speaking, a couple of ways to make it. You can either move 4 to 5 boards right with your feet, keep the same target. I prefer to move up on the approach about a foot and a half and basically just use slower ball speed and go through the same target line to make it. He's moved right and needed every one of those 490 RPMs to get to that back pin. So, keeping his 23-pin lead intact. Through 5 frames, 87 in the fourth on a spare, Cameron 64 in the fourth on a strike. So he'll have an opportunity to cut into that lead.
See if Chris can regroup here off of that spare and do what Cameron just did on the left lane.
They get it going. The pocket just gets big. That's a flat 10 for for the rest of us mortals, and
Boy,
it never even threatened.
I just watch that with envy sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Most times.
Yeah. I watched it with envy for about 30 games this week. So that was. Yeah, if the 6 hadn't hit it coming out of the gutter, the head pin had it coming back across the lane. That's amazing. Now let's see if Cam can make the adjustment here. He's gotten the ball right quick last time and it went high. Got it in a little, and then that went long, and he paid full price. So it's just the 210 versus the 2-8-10, which make it virtually a 100-to-1 shot at the 2-8-10. At the 210, he can. This is makeable. Not quite a must make, but we're getting into that territory. Bounce it. Nope. If that open, he'll have 92 in the 6th frame. Max score is going to be 212.
Certainly could use this strike right here.
He's pretty much in a must-strike situation with Chris being on a 207 pace already. Got plenty of that one.
Yes, he did, and I think he knew it. Not too excited just yet.
No.
A couple more of those.
He's had so much success and some of that, we sometimes forget that he's still 17 years old. And I think one of the things that most of the successful players on TV do is they figure out what they're best at. And I think he's still learning. He's got so many dimensions to it. There's a lot of things he can choose from. Big shot here. Key double. Bringing his lead up to 45. And more importantly, puts him at a 217 pace, which is above Cameron's max score.
Looks like that right lane might be starting to transition a little bit for them. Both players coming in a little lighter.
Getting a little down lane oil, which can play a little havoc, especially on the shot that doesn't get all the way to the gutter. Well, and that brings a lot of things back into play. 7 count there, brings the count within 2 pins.
Puts Chris on a 214 pace with a spare. Certainly not the easiest of spares at this juncture.
No. There's one I'd rather see first. I think he's going to use a plastic ball and actually kind of use a strike line to shoot this. That was not a great. That's not what he had in mind at all. That was left to target. Now we have a new ball game. 162 in the 8th. Cam on a strike in the 7th. Down 30 pins. We'll have a chance to cut it to 20 with this strike right here. He's got a tough decision here, though. He's thrown it to the right early and it overhooked. And he kept it in, and it went long. So he's either got to grab a handful and play the left, or he's got to commit to getting it to the right and being a little nicer to it at the bottom, not hitting it so hard.
So what's going through his mind right now?
I think he wants to be aggressive, so I think he'll probably keep it away from the gutter a little bit, and this is going to have a lot on it. Pretty much like that. Well, we have ourselves a match now. This strike will bring it back down to 10 pins. The max score for Cameron Doyle is 212. Max score for Chris Vi is 222. Unfortunately, I've seen too often how a match seems like it can be all done, can turn over in an instant. Keep trying to the last shot. You never know.
Sure can. Cameron here with back up on the left lane. Laney seems to have figured out, made some pretty good shots the whole match.
Oh. New life. You can't hit either one of these two. They're two great players, and you just don't want to let your foot off the throat when you have them. Chris Vi, though, still in the driver's seat. He'll get to finish first.
He has an opportunity to shut Cameron out. If he can throw 3 strikes here, the 9th and 10th.
He got that one all the way to the gutter. There was no doubt that was going to make it back.
No question. Let's see if he can regroup on this left lane. Just missed that 3-6-10. If he makes as good a shot on 57 as he just did on 58.
I'm impressed by both these guys, how seasoned they are already. You can tell they manage their emotions. They're not overexcited at a moment that, just got to regroup here. And
yeah, it really is incredible to watch.
Pocket 6-pin would not have been a great break right there.
No,
It did not get all the way to flush, but that, like I said, the pocket is bigger for guys that have that much power. The scenario is this: if he strikes on this ball and gets 1 pin, he's the National Amateur Champion. Anything else, Cameron Doyle can step up, throw 3 strikes in the 10th, and win. The moment he came here dreaming about 1 shot to win. Really good. Really good.
That was excellent.
What a great shot at the biggest of moments. You could see it right in his 3rd step. And he got there and he stayed a little taller than he did in the very first one. It's not a threat to go high. Right down the middle, make sure he gets at least 1.
Very nice.
Chris returns the favor that Cameron gave to Marshall Kent last year as the 2nd seed. Cameron beat Marshall and beat him out and got to go to the World Cup last year. This year, Chris Vi comes in as the number 2 seed, and up ends number 1 seed Cameron Doyle for the National Amateur Championship. Another great week for Cameron.
Yeah, these are the moments that all the kids growing up dream of. This could be, certainly these guys are getting pretty seasoned out here, but it's a great stepping stone to some pretty promising careers, I think.
Yeah, it won't be the last time you see any of these guys on live stream or Full TV or any other TV network in the future.
No, and the ladies as well. Just incredible. Both matches.
If you'll hang on too, we're going to be broadcasting the introduction of the Team USA men's, women's, junior, and youth teams here in just a few moments. Great performance by Chris
In addition, how about a round of applause for Mr. Cameron Doyle. Congratulations to all of our competitors. Okay, folks, in just a few moments, we'll begin our awards presentation. So please hang tight. Don't go too far. We're going to start momentarily. And we will conclude with the announcement of Team USA 2016.
All right, thank you for listening to us. This is Chris Barnes and Andrew Kane, and we know we're going to see Andrew Kane up on the lanes here shortly as part of the men's team. And
thank you all for watching this evening. Hope you enjoyed the great matches and the great talent out here that was showcased. And thanks for tuning in.
Okay, bowling fans, here we go. We'll begin our awards presentation. We're going to start with some awards from earlier today. Our round 5 high qualifying score winners from today. We'll start with the ladies with a score of 1,361. Shannon O'Keefe. Shannon, if you're here, come on down. Presenting the high qualifying awards, high performance manager to Neil Milligan. On the men's side, with a score of 1,448, James Grego. Congratulations, James. Great bowling today. Congratulations. And to Shannon, great bowling. Okay, moving on to the U.S. Amateur Champion Awards. To present these awards, the Managing Director of the National Governing Body, Mr. Neil Stremmel. we'll go with the ladies first. We just witnessed this win just a couple of moments ago. Please welcome the 2016 U.S. Women's Amateur Champion, Stephanie Schwartz. Okay, next up on the men's side, the 2016 Men's U.S. Amateur Champion, Mr. Chris Vai. Okay, how about a round of applause for our U.S. Amateur champions, Chris Vai, Stephanie Schwartz. Congratulations to those two bowlers. Okay, moving on to Junior Team USA. These members have qualified from Junior Gold in Chicago, and as I announce your name, please step out onto the approach and join Neil Stremmel. No particular order. Michael Tang. Cameron Doyle. Cortez Schenk. Brandon Biondo. Chad Mee. And not present this evening, Thomas Peters from Junior Gold, but not present this evening. All right, and qualifying from team trials this week, Anthony Simonson. Joining them, Mr. Wesley Lowe. Matt Russo. And last but not least, on the men's side here, Kenneth Ryan. Okay, moving on to the ladies' side. And these members also qualifying from Junior Gold in Chicago. Sydney Brummett. Julia Bond. Jordan Richard. Sierra Kanemoto. Not present, Holly Ann Johansson and Brianna Clemmer. Okay, earning spots qualifying from team trials this week. Stephanie Schwartz. Heather Panetzer. Haley Richard. And Kayla Crawford.
Okay, we're getting close here. From the National Selection Committee, on the boys' side, from their performance in team trials, Miko Walker. Congratulations, Miko. And by their performance from team trials as well, Andrew Anderson. All right, congratulations, Andrew. Okay, on to the girls' side from the selection committee. From her performance at team trials, Ashley Dunn. From the selection committee, from her 2015 junior gold performance and team trials performance this week, Jasmine Mason. Here she comes. Congratulations, Jasmine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2016 Junior Team USA. Congratulations to all of our competitors this week. Okay, a few more awards to go here. Hang in there. Now the awards for our team trials champions. We'll start with the ladies. With a score of 24 points this week, she has earned a spot in the Kubica AMF World Cup in China. Please welcome Danielle McEwen. Okay, on the men's side, Team Trials Champion 2016. He will join Danielle in China, representing Team USA at the Kubica AMF World Cup, Mr. Marshall Kent. Okay, congratulations to our team trials champions, Marshall Kent and Danielle McEwen. Congratulations. Nice, very nice. Okay, joining Danielle on Team USA for 2016. If these athletes could please step out on the approach when their name is called. Stephanie Johnson. Joining Stephanie and Danielle will be Kelly Kulik. Continuing on with the ladies, please welcome Shannon O'Keefe. Joining those three will be Stephanie Schwartz. Okay, back to the men here. Joining Marshall Kent on Team USA will be Mr. Cameron Doyle. Joining Marshall and Cameron will be Chris Vi. Joining those three gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Kane. One more athlete there, Mr. AJ Chapman. Okay. All right, we'll head back to the women's side now. From the National Selection Committee, by her performance at team trials, Shannon Pluhowski. Continuing on with the women, also with her performance from team trials, Erin McCarthy. Okay, continuing on. The next athlete was selected via her resume and her performance at team trials. Josie Ernest. The next athlete, also selected by her performance here at team trials and her resume, Brianna Cote. The next three bowlers were selected via their resume. They are not present this evening. They submitted a resume to Team USA, and the selection committee has made the final choices here. Kayla Johnson. Brittany Hamilton. And Missy Parkin. Moving on to the men from the National Selection Committee. The first athlete was selected by their team trials performance this week, Mr. Rob Gottschall. Our next athlete was also selected by his team trials performance this week. Please welcome Ronnie Russell. Our next athlete, selected off of the resume that was submitted and his team trials performance, Mr. John Janowitz. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next athlete, selected based off of his submitted resume, Mr. Chris Barnes. Our next three athletes were selected via the resume that they have submitted to the National Selection Committee. They are not present this evening. John Serbinski. Mr. Tommy Jones. And Mr. Sean Rash. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Team USA 2016. How about a round of applause for all of our athletes? Congratulations to each and every one of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you on behalf of the Gold Coast Bowling Center, Hotel and Casino, USBC, Brunswick. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to all of our athletes and competitors this week. It has been a long week. Team USA has been selected for 2016. In addition, we've crowned a U.S. Amateur champion for the first time in 8 years. Congratulations to everyone. How about another round of applause for everyone competing this week? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great evening.